Hi, I'm Lulu, and I'm Chinese American. Let me actually try that again. Hi, I'm Lulu, and I'm American Chinese. Sounds like a type of cheese. Hi, I'm Lulu, and I am a 1.5 generation immigrant. I was born in Beijing, but I moved to the States when I was 4. So I'm pretty American. When I go to China, I'm the person on the subway who's complaining loudly about personal space. And yet, I look Chinese. Well, I guess to white people, I just look like some kind of Asian. I love when a white person is telling me about their heritage, and they're like, yeah, so I'm 40% German, 30% Irish, 20% Swedish, and 10% Polish. When I say, actually, I'm Chinese, not Japanese, they get this confused look on their face. Do you all remember playing hopscotch as a kid? You know this thing? That's kind of what my life has felt like. You have the squares where you have to balance on one foot, and you're always a bit wobbly, and you're never quite sure where you stand. And then occasionally you have one of the double squares where you can actually put both feet on the ground, even if you're still straddling these two worlds. This feeling I have of being an outsider, it's not just because I was born someplace else. Lately, I've been noticing how so much of my identity has been shaped by my relationship with whiteness. Whiteness changes the way I see myself. It's like looking in a mirror, and instead of seeing who I actually am, I see what other people see when they look at me. I'm 7 years old, and I have 3 best friends, Jane, Jenny, and Alex. Jane and Jenny are Chinese, Alex is white. For my birthday, I'm having a pool party, and I invite the 3 of them to come over early so we can all hang out before the rest of my friends get here. I'm really excited because the 4 of us never get to play all together. Usually it's me and the 2 J's, or just me and Alex. So I don't really know what to say when Alex pulls me aside and whispers, Lulu, are the other people coming all Asian too? As I get older, I learn to hide the parts of me that are different, that might attract other people's stares or comments. Lulu, 过来, let me take a picture of you in the qipao. Do I have to wear this, Mom? It's so itchy, and it looks funny. Do you want to be the only person not dressed up? I'm gonna be late, Mom. Hold still. All right, well, Dad and I will see you at the parade. Be careful crossing the street. One year, my elementary school organized this world fair where students were supposed to dress up in clothes that represented their cultural heritage. Looking back, this feels kind of weird, like the principal went to Epcot and thought it would be fun to recreate that experience. I spent the whole parade hiding in the bathroom stall because I didn't want anyone to see me dressed in the qipao. I don't understand. How did we miss you? We saw everyone else in Mrs. Doyle's class. I don't know, Mom. I guess you just didn't see me. Over time, I developed 2 separate lives. The American version, I lived at school with my friends, and the Chinese version, I lived at home with my family. I became an expert at keeping the 2 worlds separate, avoiding the moments when they collided. Guess who I just ran into getting the mail? Who? Lauren and her mom, they want to come with us to Hong Kong Market. Wait, why? Mom, did you invite them? Yeah, this is the second time Mrs. Tibbetts mentioned it to me. I think she wants to buy some Chinese vegetables. So they're coming with us? Yeah, this weekend. Lulu, what's wrong? Why are you crying? You have to understand, this was back before it was trendy to shop at ethnic food stores. I had never seen a white person at Hong Kong Market. All I could think about was, what would they think of the weird smells? The crowded tanks of catfish, the pig's blood on sale. The distorted mirror I saw myself through affected the way I saw other Asian people too. At school, I distanced myself from other Asian kids. I needed to prove that I was the cool Asian, that even though I look different, don't worry, I'm just like you. There was this one Chinese boy, Joe Lee, who is in a lot of the same AP classes as me. Joe was like this walking, talking version of all my insecurities about fitting in. Ugh, Joe is so annoying. Why does he try so hard to be funny all the time? I think he might have a crush on me. I don't want to sound conceited, but he's always trying to hang out with us, and doesn't he have other friends? Oh God. Having an Asian boyfriend would be the worst. If I saw myself and people like me through white people's eyes, I also saw white people through rose-colored glasses. I would go for sleepovers at Alex's house and lay awake at night, wishing I could trade my parents for hers. Parents who would tuck me in at night and brush the hair away from my face, they could give me a goodnight kiss. Parents who let me eat mac and cheese for dinner. And the craziest thing of all, parents who were cool with me calling them by their first name. This fondness extended to my dating life as an adult. It probably comes as a surprise to no one that the first N people I dated were all white. I avoided questioning this preference for a long time. That's just who I'm attracted to, was the easy answer. The truth, of course, is complicated and involves a lot of lighthearted topics like internalized racism, the cultural and socioeconomic advantages of dating up. In the past few years, I felt this shift, an urge to take off the rosy glasses. Last summer, I was on a first date with the kind of person I would normally swipe right on, aka a tall white guy. We were walking by Dolores Park when we heard a yelp and a thud. Up ahead, it looked like a teenage boy had fallen out of a tree, possibly because he was high or drunk. My instinct was to stop and see if he was okay, but my date, walking in between us, glanced over and kept going. In that moment, I realized there's this nonchalant, carefree way that white men move about the world that will always feel foreign to me. There's this story in Dreams from My Father that Obama tells of falling in love with a white woman. He visits her family's country house and sees pictures of her distinguished relatives hanging on the walls of the library. But instead of being in awe, Obama realizes he and the woman lived in different worlds. He writes, "And I knew that if we stayed together, eventually I would live in hers. Between the two of us, I was the only one who knew how to live as an outsider." Until that point, it had never occurred to me that I might value being with someone who also knows what it's like to be the outsider. When I told my boyfriend that he's the first non-white person I've dated, he was pretty not impressed. Isn't that kind of the way it should be? You don't get any brownie points for that. Which is fair. And honestly, I'm pretty annoyed at myself for missing out for so long on one of the best perks of dating another person of color, making fun of white people together. Like how you all love Trevor Noah. How you love talking about your chakras, talking about other people's chakras, asking your non-white friends to explain why something is offensive, or saying stuff like, can't we just move on from the race thing? Or my favorite, I'm gonna butcher this before pronouncing a foreign name. At work, I have a lot of coworkers who I think of as real Chinese Americans. Many of them didn't emigrate to the States until after college, so in a lot of ways they're Chinese first, American second. Sometimes I'll walk into a meeting and it'll be like, 哎，听说你买房子了，恭喜恭喜，真不容易。我们去年看来看去，还没有找到合适的。Oh, hi, Lulu. I feel like a little kid at the grown-ups table wanting to be included. There's an unspoken, are you Chinese enough bar? And I don't meet it. I'm not really one of them. I'm an American Chinese, after all.